Hi, everybody. Welcome into another book club call. I hope you all are doing great. I hope you all are having a great time. If you are tuned with us in the Zoom session, welcome and thank you so much for being here. And if you are watching us on YouTube, I welcome you all on our YouTube channel. I'll advise you that while you're on YouTube, introduce yourself, from which part of the world you're tuning in. Let us know about yourself. Comment in the comment section. Let us know a little bit about you, from where you are, and what is your goal for being here? What inspires you to be here in the book club? And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, we'll be more than happy if you can subscribe that for us. And to all of you who has been coming back every single week in the book club here in the Zoom call, I really appreciate you being here. So we're going to get started in just 1 minute from now. Just wait for some more people to get in so that we can get into the idea of purpose, vision, and goals. So we're going to wait for just few more minutes, everybody. Just to let you know that today's topic is going to be an incredible one. This has been one of my favorite subjects, and these three words has been put in a very specific way here because they leads to some kind of meaning in our life. And many people get confused in the idea of finding their purpose. They get stuck, when they're thinking about what they want to achieve in their life, when they're thinking about something that matters the most to them. But we are going to really, really, really clear the fuzz for you, clear the air for you, and really make it very easy for you to understand how we can learn to find our purpose and actually live our purpose. And if I say it in a better words to you, majority of us already know what our purpose is. But what happens is that we somehow just do not accept that this is our purpose. And we let it go because we think, sometimes we think it is beyond what we think is possible for us. And sometimes we think that maybe this is not something that I can achieve. This is not something that I can get. So there is all kind of strange things that happens in our mind. But today I'm going to really, really help you to understand, like, what is that divine purpose, how we can actually get tuned into our purpose, and how we can actually find that purpose for our life. But to begin with, I want you to pay attention to these three words that are right here. The first one is purpose, the second one is vision, and the third one is goal. Now, understand that our purpose remains same for our lifetime. Our vision expands as we grow in our lifetime. And then it is our goals that helps us to fulfill all these three elements. So basically what happens is that our purpose is, it's like a central idea of our nucleus. That's our purpose right there. And then around that, we build a vision. And as I told you, that this vision is going to keep expanding as we keep expanding in our life. And then when our vision expanded, under our visions, we set goals which help us to achieve our vision. And while doing this, while staying in this circle for the rest of our life, what we are doing is we are ultimately fulfilling the end goal that is the purpose of our life. Now, this is the key idea here that we need to understand from the very, very first point that I'm explaining here to you, that your purpose in this lifetime is going to remain the same. Now, for most of you, you have to allow your purpose to find you instead of you trying to find your purpose. Because what happens in most people's cases, they try to find their purpose and they never end up finding it. And when they're trying to find their purpose and they're never, able to find it, they really get lost in the idea of what exactly the purpose of their life is, and they get stuck. Understand that as a human being, there is a basic and foundation purpose that we all have. And that is to make our life, first of all, comfortable for us, and then making it comfortable and easy for everyone around us. Now, if you're a scientist, you may think about, having a vision to create something that has never been created for. And to create that vision, you may set up new goals. For example, you may think about creating a new technologies of communication. That can be your vision. And your purpose is to help humanity. Your purpose is to help mankind by providing the service and a solution that you're setting, that you're trying to make. And then you're setting goal to create that. And this is where most people get stuck. People are good at something. We all are good at something. I believe that. Irrespective of wherever we are in the world right now, there is something we are really good at. You can be good at, sports, you can be good at something else, or you can be good at anything, but you need to understand that we all are good at one thing or another. It's not like that, let me just go back to the previously. All right, so we all are good at something. We all are good at something. Some of you may be good at, let's say, some of maybe good at playing golf, some of you may be good at let's say sports. Now that's where you are good at, and if you're good at it, that can be one thing that leads to your purpose. Now that may not necessarily be your purpose, but this is something that can lead to your purpose. Okay, now as I said, that can lead to your purpose. That unnecessarily, that doesn't mean that it has to be your purpose, right? Now, let's move forward to the first point here. Now, introduction. All right. Now, I want you to understand some of the basic things that I'm going to explain to you here. Okay. Let me just see if I can change this to there. All right. That's fine. Just give me a moment, guys. Sorry for the delay. All right, no worry. Now, first of all, understand that your life, your life, it's not random at all. We all have a unique purpose. Now, when I say we all have a unique purpose, there is a road that is meant for us. There is a vision that is meant for us. Now, that's a different thing, whether we have discovered that road for ourselves or not yet. But there is a life for us. And there is a gift that is coded within your DNA. Now, I believe very much in this power that every single person who is born on this planet, we all have some special talents and abilities. And the more we discover those special talents and abilities about ourselves, we realize how cool, how amazing we can be. But this is where some people even get stuck. Some people are good at many things. They might be good at programming, they might be good at speaking, they might be good at teaching, they might be good at this, they might be good at that, and they get stuck. They're thinking that I'm good at this, I'm good at that, I'm good at this, what should I do? Understand that your vision, your purpose is going to keep expanding over the time. When you're a little kid, when we all were little kid, only thing that we wanted to do is just to play. We just wanted to play, right? And when we grow a little bit bigger, maybe when we become adults, might be our interest has changed. So you see, as we are growing in what we call as in what I call as something, let's say, is the level of awareness. All right, the level of awareness, as we grow in our level of awareness in our life, our interests changes. And with this change of interest, sometimes we have to acquire new skills. Now, that does not mean the old skills we have are going to become obsolete. Those skills are going to be still useful at some point in our life. But the thing is that as we grow in our life, as we grow from one point to another, our interest changes. And with that changing interest, our vision evolves, our goals expands, things we want to do changes. But one thing that still remains common is your purpose. Now, as I told you, the basic purpose is to help humanity. The basic purpose is to add value. Like, for example, my purpose is to spread this information as much as I can. Now, I will set visions for this purpose, right? And then my goals might differ. My platforms might differ. What I'm going to do, that remains the same. Your purpose can be anything else. If you're a dancer, your purpose can be to entertain the whole world. If you're an actor, same, your purpose can be to entertain the whole world. If you're a sports star, your purpose can be to give memories to your fans that they remember for the lifetime. If you're an actor, your purpose can be to really act like that people really believes that you're not just being that person, you are that person in the character, in the role. Or you can be an artist and your job is to create an art that really brings happiness, give value, really make people feel and they'll fall in love with that idea. So your purpose can be anything, but you have to start from somewhere and you have to find your why. I think I have impressed this idea so many times in the previous weeks, again and again. The moment you discover the reason of doing something, your motivation level is going to be is going to be different. It is going to be completely different. So it's you who has to discover your reason. And once you do that, it's just gonna be incredible, you know. All right. So this is something you have to connect with. Introduction. Find that. Life is not random. It has a unique purpose. There are gifts within our own unique DNA. Now let's pay attention to like what happens when we have a purpose. Okay. Now, because when we have a purpose, life really becomes important, because it's very important to have a purpose. But what happens when we have a purpose? First of all, when you have a purpose, you know, it's like a personal compass. You know, all of a sudden that you have a direction in your life that you need to follow. Because when you know that this is your purpose, the chances of you getting depressed, the chances of getting demotivated, the chances of really going off track are very limited. Because then you know for one and forever what is that you want to do in your life. That is the importance of having a purpose. And then, you know, you don't drift. That means you stay on course. You know, you're not then going to go from this side to that side. You're not going to stop from here to there. You're always going to be on track. Now there are going to be times when you might drift for a while. There are going to be times when you might forget, you know, go from, let's say, doing something and then you start doing something else, but you're always going to bounce back. You're always going to bounce back to your purpose, because your purpose is such a powerful thing. And you know, everything flows, everything then aligns with your purpose. You will see that you're going to start attracting people, you're going to start attracting resources, you're going to start attracting everything that you need. That is the power. That is the power when you have a purpose. Now, let me tell you, this is on a stick person diagram. Now, this is very important, right, your friend? So basically what happens is when you discover your purpose, now this is our stick man diagram. You know, we have our conscious mind, we have our subconscious mind, we have our body, and we have a little dumbbell shaped element that is called as brain. And we have these sensory factors: see, smell, hear, taste, and touch. Now, when you discover your purpose and you have really fixated that purpose at the center of your subconscious mind, now what happens is that when the purpose is firmly fixated here and you are vibrating, you know, on that purpose, that means you are sending this energy, this vibration onto the universe, and you're locked into that purpose, you're going to see that your mind is going to become sharp. You're going to see that you will have a lot of great ideas coming into your consciousness. You will see that all of a sudden you're attracting people that aligns with your goal, that align with your vision, that align with your purpose. And that creates a resonance, that creates a synchronicity, you know, what we call as a vibration. And this vibration ultimately changes your action, changes the reaction from the universe, changes the results. And it all happens because we have adopted a certain purpose in our life. Now, I'm going to emphasize this again and again to you. You know, your purpose can come to you at random times. Now, my purpose for this information, my purpose to become a life coach, my purpose to become a mentor comes to me at one of the most lowest moments of my life. At that time, I graduated from university 10 years, 12 years ago. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I had no help, no resources. And then something hit my mind. And what hit my mind was a question. And the question was, why there are so many successful people and while there are so many unsuccessful people at the same time? And, you know, that leads me to study. I went into internet. I started researching about it. I started questioning these stuff. And that leads me to the movie The Secret. And that movie Secret leads me to my first mentor, Bob Proctor. And from here, you know, an awareness started to kick in with me that people who become successful in life are the ones who become conscious about their paradigms, who become conscious about changing their belief system, who becomes one in with their goals, and then that changing their lives. And if you want to become a better version of yourself, you have to really get tuned with who you are. You have to find out what is something that you love to do. That is your purpose, my dear friends. If I have to sum it up, what is something that you love to do? I love teaching this information. I love helping people. I love giving this, helping people in the problem whenever they are and really giving them the best I can. That's my purpose. And my way to fulfill this purpose is through coaching. So you find out what is your purpose, and then you find out what is your way to fulfill that purpose. Now, the way to fulfill your purpose may change. Understand that. The way can change. You may start as as a coach, a life coach, then you may become a business mentor, whatever it can be. Then you start writing books, then you may do something else. But your purpose still remains the same. You're still living your life with the idea of helping people. You're still living your life with the idea of encouraging people, and you're still living your life with the idea of really bringing this information in front of right people. And this is where things changes. And that's the importance of having a purpose. And understand that you have to fall in love. You have to fall in love with your idea. Until or unless you don't fall in love with that idea in your subconscious mind is always going to be like a fuzzy thing. But when you fall in love with that idea, you're going to see that things are going to change. Why I'm saying that? Understand that first you will discover your purpose. Okay. And then it is your job to hold that purpose. So there are going to be time in your life when you have to hold on to that purpose. And you have to really consciously and deliberately push for that purpose. And then you're going to reach a time when your purpose is going to hold to you for the rest of your life. How does this happen? It happens in a very symmetric way. It happens in a very scientific way. If we look at the conscious and the subconscious mind, your brain, your body, your mind. So what you have to do is for a certain period of time, you have to hold on to that idea of your purpose into your conscious mind, whatever that idea is. And that idea of the purpose is something that you love to do, something that you are passionate about. It can be anything. It can be anything. Literally, it can be anything. And then you have to follow the principles of universe. In other words, you have to impress that idea to your subconscious mind over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And when you're doing that, what are you doing is you're applying the law of universe, your repetition. So that means for a very longer period of time, you have to bring the principle of auto-suggestion into place. You have to reaffirm your purpose every single day. You have to remind yourself every single day that why you're doing, what are you doing. You have to keep connecting yourself with your why. You have to keep giving yourself the reasons why you love this. You have to keep giving yourself the reason that if you keep doing this, your life is going to change. Your life is going to alter in 5 years from now. And if you keep doing that, then you're going to realize that this idea that you have in your conscious mind, it is going to make its way to the subconscious level, and it is going to fix here itself in the form of a desire. And now your purpose is consciously and subconsciously, you're aligned. You are in a resonance, my dear friends. When two people are in resonance, what happens is that they have their ideas similar. They have their belief system similar. They have certain things in common. There are certain things they love about each other. There are certain things they hate about each other. That's fine, But the most important thing is that they're passionate about each other. For example, you can be in resonance with your business. You can be in resonance with your partner. And when you're in resonance with something, there are something that attracts you. There are something that really, really drives you. And that happens when you hold on to your purpose in the conscious mind. And with repetition, using the law of auto-suggestion, you have to hold on to it, 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 hold on to it. And then with the time, you know what's going to happen? You will reach a time when this desire, this purpose is going to be fixated into your subconscious mind so much that this idea is going to drive you, that this idea is going to really, really make you fall in love with yourself. And then for the rest of your life, this desire, it is going to drive you. Why? Because it is fixated into your subconscious mind. That creates new brain cells, that create new neuron pathways. And when those new neuron pathways are created, there you go. The vibration alters, the action alters, the reaction alters, and ultimately the result alters. And it all happens with you beginning with an idea of holding on to your purpose. It's you beginning with an idea of really sticking by your purpose. It's really you holding on to this idea of being there in your purpose, being there in your vision, being there in what you love, and things begin to change. So it's all about finding your truth. And when you find the truth, and the truth here is simply listening to your inner voice. You know, it doesn't matter what anybody else says to you. Some of you might want to become a coach, and then you have your friends saying to that, oh, you know what, the coaching industry is saturated, don't go there. None of that matters. Only thing that matters is the voice inside your heart. If that voice inside your heart says that I love doing this, forget about whatever anybody else is saying. Because if you love it, you got to do it. You know, I love the way Bob Proctor put it. He said, if I want to be free, I have to be me. You know, not the me my family think I should be, not the me my parents, my wife, my kids think I should be. If I want to be free, I have to be me. And I know who the real me is. Nobody else know about me. Nobody else know about who the real me is. Nobody else know about, you know, what I'm capable of doing. It's me who know what I'm capable of doing. It's me who know what I have to do. It's me who know what I have to actually be. So ignore the negativity, ignore your past experiences. Forget about whatever is happening. You know, these things has no control over you until or unless you give it control. Remember what has been said about the conscious mind, you know. Now, this is going to be a very good place to explain these ideas again. Remember that it is said that your conscious mind has the ability to accept and reject ideas. So that means if there is negativity around you, my dear friends, you do not have to just literally accept it. It's your ability to reject their ideas. As a human being, we have that abilities, and we have to exercise that abilities. We have to use that ability. We cannot just simply, you know, ignore that. Understand that you have that power. You have that power. Ignore it, and then tune in with your gifts. Those gifts, I know I repeat that, and I'm going to repeat that again and again. We have gifts programmed into our subconscious mind. Things we are good at, you know, things that comes naturally to us, things that really excites us, things that makes us feel that we are special, things that makes us feel that we are different. And sometimes, you know, you have to keep reminding yourself about those things. Sometimes you have to keep bringing those ideas back and back again, back and back again, back and back again, back and back again to your subconscious mind. Because we have a habit of escaping those things. We have a habit of letting those things, you know, letting those things go away. And then once you do that, connect with yourself. Forget about what anybody else is saying. Forget about what anybody else think about you. Forget about what the world is saying about you. Forget about all the bullshit and all the nonsense that is happening in the world right now. Understand what Neville Goddard said. He said, find the truth and truth will set you free. And the truth that you have to find is simply this. If you believe in the power that flows to and through you, if you believe that there is only one universal power that manifests everything for you, and if you believe in that power, irrespective of whatever the contradictory ideas that you may have heard about, or whatever has been going on in the world right now, instead of in terms of economy and everything, that none of that can expect you. None of that can impact you until or unless you allow that to impact you. You know, people who really look at the newspaper and let the negativity to get into their head are the one who always, you know, boasted about how they expand, you know, how much is the inflation, how things are going on. Why the hell do I care about it if I can just keep expanding my earning? if I just keep focusing on earning more and more, getting better and better. When I focus on getting better and better, do you think I'm gonna worry about what's happening in the world? It's not going to be none of my problem then, because my focus is on myself, my focus is on getting better, my focus is on earning more. I can do it from my passion. Find your truth, not getting away from the purpose. Understand that your purpose is just a matter of your choice. The moment you accept the idea about your purpose is going to be yours. And then you have to hold it, what I explained it here to you. You have to hold on to this purpose. This purpose is not going to manifest by itself. You have to hold on to that purpose. As I said it here, you have to fall in love with that idea, and you have to hold on to that purpose, and then let that purpose really, really drive you. All right. So you're not here to live someone else's dream. Your dream, your authenticity, your vision, your creativity, we all have it. And we all have it. And we have to bring it here, you know. There's something called as level of awarenesses. So, you know, when we start in begin in our life, we all come with an awareness, which is very shallow. But then we keep expanding our awareness if we keep working on ourselves. And there is no limitation of this expansion, you know. It starts with I am, and the concept of I am keep getting bigger and bigger. I'm abundance, I'm prosperity, I'm great, I'm amazing, I'm wonderful. These are not just the affirmations. These are the concepts that we have to believe about ourselves. These are the concepts that we really have to literally have to push into our subconscious mind. These are the concepts we have to remind ourselves again and again. You know, the person who cannot hold on to the idea of how powerful they are, the chances of them getting something in their life are very tiny and very slim, because they're not holding on to the belief, they're not holding on to that idea. And that's what we have to do. You're not here to live someone else's dream. You're here to live your dreams. So it's the purpose that leads to vision. As I told you, purpose is your why you're on this planet. Vision is your how you're going to fulfill that purpose. And then goals is your vision into action. For example, my purpose is to help humanity grow into consciousness. That's my purpose. My vision is to keep growing the company, human potential and growth, create programs, create seminars that help me expand the consciousness of the world. And then I have my goal. My goal is that my book that I'm launching, my goal is the next seminar that I have. My goal is the next talk that I'm delivering. My goal is the next Facebook Live that I'm doing. My goal is next YouTube video that I'm putting. That's my goal. And in this process, what happens? In this process, I earn money. That's my business, right? So you see, my purpose leads me. My purpose really grows me, and my purpose really drivens me. So what you have to do is you have to fix your vision. So the first step is think about your journey. Now, do not try to plan everything. Simply think about the small steps that you can take right now today. It can be anything. And then start taking those actions, my dear friend. You know what happens with most people? They start thinking about something, doing big in their life, and then they get stuck in the all planning. They get stuck in all, you know, think about, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, I have to figure out this, I have to figure out that. Okay, no. You don't have to figure out anything. You have to just think about the first step. You know, when I started my business, I started in the storeroom of my house. The storeroom of my house. I'll show you a photo someday. I started from a fucking storeroom of my house. I had nothing. I have absolutely nothing. I just had a vision. And from that vision, I expanded my consciousness. So there are 3 keys. First of all, stay engaged. How you're going to stay engaged? You know, there is a word called as avoid autopilot. Understand that if you have to avoid autopilot, my dear friends, you have to consciously and deliberately hold the image of your goal in the screen of your mind. And then with repetition, using the principle of auto suggestion, you have to keep feeding that purpose over and over and over and over and over again. Start now. There is no better time than now. You know, you might waste so many times in your life thinking about, I'm going to do this when I have this, I'm going to do this when I have that. You know, you will never have it. Or even if you have it, then your mind is going to say, oh, maybe not right now. I'll wait for a little bit longer. I'm going to start in 3 months from now. I'm going to start in 6 months from now. Time is never going to be perfect. Do the first action that you can do. Take the first step that you can take right now. Enjoy the journey. Embrace it. Keep going one step at a time. Keep going one thing at a time. And it's just going to get better and better. Understand that when the vision doesn't work, stay consistent with your purpose. Your purpose is always going to be a constant thing. Your vision is going to change. You know, you may think about doing something now, and maybe later on it's going to change, but your purpose remains the same. And all you have to do is, in this whole situation, keep listening to your intuition. You can adjust your route, but your destination is going to remain the same, my dear friends. And before we leave, you know, I really want you to understand that you have a mind here. You know, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. And then you have these sensory factors. You can see, smell, hear, taste, and touch. And then you have what we call as your higher faculties. These are imagination, reason, perception, will, memory, and intuition. Now, there are two ways for you to live your life. The first way to live your life is use these sensory factors, look at your present results, let these results occupy your conscious mind. And then let these results control whatever is happening on the subconscious level. And then let this control your action and ultimately get the same results. That's one way of living the life. The second way for you to living the life is live by higher faculties. Build that purpose, the vision, impress that idea of the goal and a purpose onto your conscious mind. Hold on to this idea with repetition, auto-suggest it again and again, again and again. Let it impress to your subconscious mind. Let it take charge, let it take control, and let this become the burning desire of your life. Remember what Andrew Carnegie said about it? He said, any idea that is held in the mind, that means that is held in the conscious mind, is emphasized, that means is repeated, is either feared and revered, that means either mixed with positive or negative emotion, is going to clothe itself into the most appropriate form available. That's what happens here. Then you rewire your brain. When you rewire your brain, that alters the vibration, changes the action, changes the reaction from the universe, changes situation, circumstances, environment, ultimately changes results. That's science, basically. That is the science. And if you hold on to that idea, my dear friends, life can be incredible. The life can be amazing. The life can be wonderful. So on that note, I'll advise you, stick with your purpose, find your purpose, hold on to your purpose until your purpose hold you for the rest of your life. On that note, thank you so much for being here. It has been an absolute pleasure today, once again, being in this book club call with you all. And I'm looking forward to see you